Good evening to all of you, and thank you for joining us on 13 Plus. I'm Mary Coleman. Hope you're having a great week so far. Well, parents failing drug tests, their kids kept in state custody as a result of this, and now some drug testing labs are under scrutiny. National investigative reporter Sierra Cummings uncovered alleged false positive drug cases all across the country.
I think I got it set for like 330 degrees. I wanted something that's more than a picture.
The heat press machine on Brittany Tucker's kitchen table, it was for personal reasons at first. Then came the professional ones too.
So I've got a large company shirt order coming in.
People wanting to memorialize a loved one. Grief Brittany knows about well.
After my brother passed away, I took it the wrong way and I turned to drugs.
The addiction cause intervention in 2016 from Georgia Division of Family and Children's Services, or DFACS. Within 2 years, the state had removed all her kids from her home, including a newborn daughter. As in many states, when drugs are the basis of a Georgia child welfare case, a judge can require the parent submit to hair follicle drug screens. Court-ordered drug testing is common in this type of case, and the contracts with states can be huge. For example, in Idaho, records show the state has contracts with 6 drug test companies for more than $1 million each year. For Brittany, starting in 2016, DFACS contracted workers showed up to collect specimens to send off to drug testing labs.
I didn't get sober for myself. I did it for my kids.
She says she was sober with no more relapses by 2019. Just one problem. According to the state subcontracted lab results, multiple times when Brittany claims she was sober, she tested positive for methamphetamine.
I don't know if there's any words to actually put to describe that.
Our investigation uncovered the labs the state uses has a history of false positive allegations.
There is so many, what I would say are false positives.
Attorney Doris Good represents Brittany and advised the mom to start getting tested at independent labs too.
What's happening is defects are turning up positive and independent labs are turning up negative.
The attorney argued in juvenile court that hair follicle testing can and does result in false positives.
The cases where our clients are staying sober is really, it's sad that they're losing their children because of false positives.
Brittany claims not only was her time with her kids robbed, but her sobriety stolen too.
Oh my God. You try to put on a brave face for them.
They are positive.
We took Brittany's case to a veteran toxicologist. Ted Simon spent more than a decade at the Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA.
Based off of your expertise, how reliable are these hair tests?
The hair tests are not reliable.
Federal guidance outlines disadvantages of hair testing include environmental contamination, adding it's difficult to interpret results. Concerns far from new. We found several civil lawsuits pending against the same 2 lab companies used in Georgia, alleging similar patterns of false positives. In court filings, the companies deny the allegations. In Michigan, the Child Welfare Agency terminated its contract with Avra Health over the claims. In Utah, the state has dropped that company as its provider due to questions over reliability. And in Texas, ExpertTalk's license revoked after allegations of inaccurate results and misconduct. Back in Georgia, our investigation uncovered since at least 2018, DFAC's leadership has known about major issues. State records show emails, reviews, and complaints from DFAC's workers. Avra Health allegations, 3 false positives in one case. The testing is not 97 to 99% accurate. False positive, training and cross-contamination. A county juvenile judge saying they will no longer accept the results in their courtroom. Avra Health would not interview but says they've never been informed of a credible concern, adding they stand by their results from their accredited lab. As for ExpertTalk's, state records show DFAC's workers had significant concern about validity of future test results. A mom's false positive for meth due to environmental exposure or over-the-counter medicine. ExpertTalk's now responding.
I was hired as a lab director to address laboratory operation concerns.
That's Dr. James Borland, the ExpertTalks lab director hired in 2022. He says he's implemented a two-step approach to testing and confirmation now. He maintains there's no current pattern of faulty results. But Borland admits to knowing of at least one recent Georgia claim of a false positive hair test. He found the explanations of environmental contamination or the use of over-the-counter medicine were plausible.
I would agree that I can't rule out external contamination.
Turns out the company did not run a specialized test in that case. Historically, they haven't run it in other cases either. The test is called DL isomer, and although not required by the state, it could help rule out concerns of false positives because the method can determine legal forms of methamphetamine like nasal spray or an inhaler.
But why don't you guys use the test that would help?
We performed a study. I agree. The DL isomer test is what needs to be done.
I mean, these are people's kids being taken away. So you're saying the test wasn't being used up front at the labs in Georgia, but you're willing to make sure that test is available at the labs in Georgia now?
This had nothing to do. Well, I mean, if we did the test and we didn't do an isomer test, then I'm willing to send it out to get an isomer test done.
Borland explains they didn't always have access to the specialized test, but he says now he'll make it a priority across Georgia.
It's just difficult to find a lab that can effectively do it.
But I mean, there are lives literally on the line, so it's...
Yeah, we can do that. And I'll make it my priority.
A move Brittany Tucker wishes would have come sooner. Back in her kitchen, this time she gets to use the heat press to memorialize a thank you.
These are like little tote bags that I made
For her attorney.
Without her, like, none of this would be possible.
The defects case officially closed, her kids finally home.
Parents don't quit on their kids or quit fighting, especially if they're in the right.
Now, we mentioned in this story, Brittany had a newborn removed from her care, too. That birth daughter was ultimately adopted by a new family, a decision Brittany made early on after feeling defeated by her test results. DFCS did not comment on this case, but said when there are allegations of false positives, they require sworn statements from the labs. We hope you're having a great evening so far and enjoy this live picture from our Mount Bigelow camera. We also hope you'll join us for 13 News Live at 10 for more of your news and weather.